Welcome back. So we've talked a lot about designing for the screen, but one of CSS's major powers is that you can actually use it for different media as well. So we can isolate specific CSS rules to a specific media type. Now we may have seen this earlier in the HTML discussion or in the CSS discussion of where to put your style sheets, that we can assign a media attribute to a link tag. So in this case, I could say that I only want the print.css file to apply in the print medium. That's pretty cool. We can also do that within a style sheet itself using an @ rule, @media print, and then only within the print context will the body size in this case be 14 pixels. Hopping over to the browser, we can inspect an element. And here in the head, you can see that it applies to media all. And then if I go into that style sheet, I'm going to make this a little bigger so you can see it. If I scroll all the way down to the bottom, I have my media print, which has all of the style rules that I'm going to use with respect to print. And I can set things like the page size, I can adjust the number of widows, all of that sort of stuff. If I hit print preview, you can actually see the application of those styles to this page. So you see I've used my generated content to go ahead and adjust the links to make sure that those appear afterwards. I've also done things like keeping the font size, getting rid of the navigation, getting rid of the images, that sort of stuff, with the exception of the actual text content. So that's pretty cool. With @media rules and with the media attribute, we can actually assign multiple media that we want to apply something to. And we do that using a comma. So here you see @print, refrigerator. And what's interesting about this is it looks a lot like the compound selectors that we can use in order to choose something to style, but it works a little bit differently. Whereas with a compound selector, if any of the selectors weren't understood, the entire rule set would be ignored. With the @media block, if any of these are not understood, they're just ignored. So in this case, refrigerator doesn't exist as a standard media assignment. So browsers that come along won't know what to do with refrigerator, so they just throw that value away. But they do understand @media print, so they keep that. So they won't throw away the entire @rule, they just ignore the piece that they don't understand. So unlike in selectors, if one medium doesn't apply, the others still could. All right, so this has been a basic overview of working with media. In the next section, we're going to talk about media queries, which take @media rules a step further and make them more capable of doing neat things like responsive design. I'll see you in a few minutes.